Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
And
afternoon, ma'am.
I hope everybody is in a good health now because our ISO 13485 audit has completed and our certificate is on the way. So we have to really, pat ourselves and move ahead. It's not that we have received the certificate and now our job role is over, it's not like that. So now our responsibility has increased, to keep the same, system in place. It should be the continuous, the continuous training, continuous evaluation, continuous risk management, continuous kappa, everything should be continuous, and that's how this quality management systems tells about it. So today we are going to discuss about training and its effectiveness, because this NC was very important for us, and auditor has pointed out, some sample database, the objective evidence you must have seen, and based on which we thought to consider this as a first topic when we start our training program. So, as I said, training is very important and its effectiveness should be seen throughout the organization when we train our employees. Okay. So, we are going to discuss about the importance of training, why the employee needs training, So first, though we are aware of importance of training, everybody is aware of, but still we, sometimes we are lazy. We do not uh, respect time. Like we do not give sufficient time to train ourselves, to train others. The train the trainers and so on. Because right from the day one when we started the project, I used to say, train the trainer, train the trainer. Once you are trained, you have to train others. So training is very, very important because it represents a good opportunity for employees to grow their knowledge base and improve their job skills to become more effective in the workplace. Despite the cost of training for employees, the return on investment is immense if it is consistent. As I said, consistency is very, very important when we talk about validation, when we talk about the consistency of the job, the consistency of the skills, the consistency of training. So everywhere people needs a consistent result, the consistency, and that's why, of course, to have that consistency, we should have the investment also. Training is not easy. So though we have internal trainer, we have to appoint external training as well. We have to send our employees for external training, or we have to invite external trainers to train them. Sometimes, see, on job skill training, induction training, it is okay. It is given by our own company. But what about others like ISO 13485, internal auditor, risk assessment, validation, CAPA? All these topics are not, taught by internal trainer. So it is always advisable to invite external trainer who has thorough knowledge, who have faced so many audits, and who are in a position to train you. So training, as I said, it's very important. It improves skills and knowledge. And employee training program, how robust you make, it helps to improve the knowledge and skills of employees to match the various changes in the industry. And this improvement will positively affect the productivity of workers, which can increase the profits and efficiency of an organization. And some of the training, some of the things employee may learn through training, which includes work ethics, human relations, and safety. Then training is not just important to any company, it is vital. How the brain, how the heart is vital organ of our body. If you consider human anatomy and physiology, we give most importance, to the heart and the brain of our body. If heart and brain would not have been functioning, what will happen? The person will die. Like that, you should give the importance to training. So for any company, training is a vital. So although there are many categories of training such as management training and or sales training, employees with project management skill are important asset to any organization. But what does training and development means to your organization? So training presents a prime opportunity to expand the knowledge base of all employees, but many employers in the current climate find development opportunities expensive. So some people find that training, the development of their employees and getting an opportunity is become expensive. But employees attending training session also miss out on work time, which may delay the completion of projects. So sometimes what happens, we try to adjust within our employees, whatever we have hired, though they have knowledge or not, we are not just care about it. We are not worried, and we just give uh, task or some duties which are not relevant to their profession, their degree, their the job skills or experience, but we try to get it done from them. So this has then disadvantage as well, then project gets delayed. There are potential drawbacks also, because what happens if the people working in a particular area, they don't have the subject knowledge, but since their superiors have told them to work on this project, they are working. So that is not a good that would beneficial to the organization in long run. And that's the reason, in a particular area we have to assign people with particular knowledge, degree, experience, and so on. So again, the cost, when you have to invest into training and the people, of course the cost matters a lot, but it will be a worthwhile investment, I'm telling you. Because the output which you will be getting from that experienced person or the educated people would be more different than whatever you are expecting from the unskilled people or the existing people to whom you are assigned those tasks, and your huge time will be saved. So the return on investment is guaranteed. So that's how the training and development of employees really a very good investment, I would say. And it won't become a barrier to any company. So what are the benefits of training? Improved employee performance. The employee who receives the necessary training is more able to perform in their job. The training will give the employee a greater understanding of their responsibilities within their role, and in turn build their confidence. Of course, the confidence is very important about any type of work to handle the leadership quality, the team building, and there are so many other things required. Apart from the attitude and behavior, confidence also matters. When we face the audit, confidence will win the half the battle. So that's how this confidence will enhance their overall performance, and this can only benefit to the company. And employees who are competent and on top changing industry standards help your company hold a position as a leader and strong competitor within the industry. So improved employee performance is one of the benefit. The second benefit is improved employee satisfaction and morale. If you keep training your employees, on different topics, the employee will also feel very proud of, very much satisfied from inside. If you stop him, learning, training, then he would not retain for a long time. I'm telling you, we have seen so many organizations, there is attrition rate, huge attrition rate. Why? Because people are not satisfied. There is no job satisfaction, there is no motivation, there is no support. So that is why the investment in training that a company makes shows employees that they are valued. So they themselves feel like we are valued to the organization. If they are hired, they are taking care of us by all means. The training creates a supportive workplace. Employees may gain access to training they wouldn't have otherwise known about to sort out themselves. The employees who feel appreciated and challenged through training opportunities may feel more satisfaction towards their job. So then addressing weakness. Of course, most employees will have some weaknesses or the other in their workplace, right? So some people are very good in certain skills, some people are not. Some people are very intelligent, I have seen, but they are unable to express. They are poor in their communication skill. So try to understand their need, the need analysis, right? If he's very intelligent, he has brilliant ideas, he can work hard, he is very sincere, but he is unable to express himself, he is unable to communicate. Try to give him training for the communication skill. There are two types of communication: non-verbal communication, verbal communication. Try to make him understand. If you are unable to speak, there is a way, that is non-verbal communication. You can write, and you can explain. So that's how you should groom your people. A development program brings all employees to a higher level, so they all have similar skills and knowledge. This helps reduce any weak links within company who rely heavily on others to complete basic work tasks. That is why most of the people are struggling to get a job done, on the given timelines, and they are unable to meet their milestone, the goals. Why? Because of people who are not working on time, who are producing, wrong result, wrong output, and the time is wasted, money is wasted, everything is wasted. Correct? So that's how we have to invest in training and skilling our people. So providing the necessary training creates an overall knowledgeable staff with employees who can take over for one another as needed. So when one is absent, another can be helpful to perform that task or the work on teams or the work independently without constant help or supervision from others. So we have to train people in such a way that he reaches from level 1 to level 6, wherein supervision is not required. He himself or she herself can handle the task. So that's how how you address the weaknesses of employee. That is up to the organization. That is up to his supervisor, his boss. Then come to consistency. So consistency word is very popular and very important in pharma and medical devices. Okay. So the robust training and the development program ensures that employees have a consistent experience and background knowledge. The consistency is particularly relevant for the company's basic policy and the procedure. All employees need to be aware of the expectations and the procedures within the company, and increased efficiencies in processes results in financial gain of the company. It's pretty straightforward para I have given, I have read for you. If you have any question, do let us know. You can stop me in between and I will explain with more examples. So consistently, I have given enough example earlier as well. Consider the McDonald example where the burger patty and the French fries are prepared. Even if you go to Hyderabad branch, Visakhapatnam branch, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Telangana, wherever you go, McDonald's or the Domino's pizza where you get, you will see the consistency in the taste, the quality, the size, the packing, and everything. Why? Because they have validated those batches, they have validated the formula, and the people are trained, you know. So that's how the consistency should be. This is a pretty simple example which I have quoted. Apart from there are 100 examples to quote. So there are other benefits also: increased productivity and adherence to the quality standards. Of course, productivity usually increases when a company implements training courses. Increased efficiency in processes will ensure project success, which in turn will improve the company turnover and the potential market share. And increase innovation in new strategies and the products. So ongoing training and upskilling of the workforce can encourage creativity. New ideas can be formed as a direct result of training and development. Then reduced employee turnover. So staff are more likely to feel valued if they are invested in, and therefore less likely to change employers, the organization. And training and development is seen as an additional company benefit. Recruitment costs therefore go down due to staff retention. As I said, so many companies have attrition rates so high. Why? Because of people are not retained. So how the retention policy is, how you can retain them? Please involve them. Please engage them in such a way that they will feel themselves valued. They will feel themselves I'm the, important person for this company, and my company, many activities are dependent on me, so I should not leave this company. The person should feel like that, that people are dependent on me, and I should, give whatever I have because I'm paid. So that's feeling, that confidence should come within your employees. Then it enhances company reputation and profile. Of course, when the attrition rate is high, company is not good. People talk when people leave our one company and join other company, they always talk about the previous company experience. And they will tell other people also, don't go to this company. The people are bad, the management is poor, the salary is given very poor, like that. So everywhere people are the same. So don't lose your reputation or the profile in the market. So this is very strong point. Having a strong and successful training strategy helps to develop your employer brand and make your company a prime consideration for graduates and mid-career changes. So training also makes the company more attractive to potential new recruits who seek to improve their skills and the opportunities associated with those new skills. And if you are, continuously training your employees, nobody would love to, leave your company, and they will be very happy. So the training can be of any kind, for example, on the job training, mentoring schemes, in-house training, or individual, training. There are some part of like blended training. So it has become very popular now, blended training. Because as a company we have a definite increase in this method of training over the last year, because blended training is the effective combination of online learning and the classroom learning. So due to COVID, you must have seen that lots of training programs are going through online. Though classroom is of course more effective than the online, but people have started accepting it. So the blended training programs are more popular now. Many of clients prefer their staff to learn on-site rather than attend off-site training program. So on-site learning program like the blended learning approach allow to train more people working across a larger international footprint. So this makes it much more cost effective and allows for greater process consistency. So like today also we are connecting online, right? So that more people connected and get benefited out of this training. So like that, there are 11 benefits of training employees. First, we have seen increased productivity and the performance. Of course, the improper skill will give always the lesser result and the poor results. So if we skill or upskill your people, their knowledge and their skills will enhance, and of course, the confidence and the ability will be built up, and this will improve their performance. Then the uniformity of work process. When employees in a workplace are exposed to training, it helps to standardize the work process among the staff, and workers will apply and follow similar procedure as a result of their exposure to similar training. So there will be uniformity of work processes when the person is trained, retrained on a typical process. Reduced wastage, right? When employees are trained, then they will learn to make good, safe, and economical use of the company's material, tools, and equipment. But before that, they should be trained, how to protect from the waste, how to, work with the given material, how to take the batch by using the bill of material. Don't weigh the extra material or something, don't waste. And even in cutting, chopping, or in the granulation, you can tell them that here, if you do this task in a proper manner, you can save the wastage. So that is on job training, skill based training to reduce the wastage. Then the accidents and equipment damage will be minimized, and this will help to waste low. Then the fourth benefit is reduced supervision. Of course, through training, employees should not totally eliminate the need for supervision. It can significantly reduce the need for excessive supervision in the workplace. Okay, so excessive supervision is not required. Even if you put a CCTV camera and people are working daily on daily basis, that is good enough to monitor. So no excessive supervision is required. Then promoting from within. This is very important. When a person is working years and years within the same organization, he becomes a multi-skilled person. And you can think about his promotion, within the organization. And you do not have to search outside. So I will read for you. When an organization needs professional with new or specific skills, they don't have to go into the labor market to employ new professional from outside sources. They can look inward and select promising staff members who can be promoted after they are trained in this set of new skills needed by the organization. So pretty simple. You can give the opportunity to the existing worker, the staff, and promote him to take the additional responsibility. Then improved organizational structure. When a company has an organized system of training for employees, it helps them learn in a consistent and systematic way. It also prevents the employees from learning by trial and error. Am I right? Improved organizational structure, boosted morale. Of course, employees of the organization who go through training programs will feel like they are a part of a supportive work environment, and they will feel that their morale will be boosted, confidence will be boosted. Improved knowledge and policies and goals. A good training program will always help employees get acquainted with their organizational policies, quality policies, ethics, values. And that's why you must have seen the quality policy, the mission, vision are stick on the board in the larger font size, so that every day when they walk into the factory or the premises where they are working, can be read and understood. So it will help you to improve their knowledge into policies and the goals. What is our company's objective mission, so that we can support our company. Then the improved customer valuation. When employees of an organization are exposed to consistent training, it improves their skills on the job and makes them work more professionally and productively. So customers will feel the impact of these elevated services, and it will improve their opinion of the organization. Then better workplace environment. Of course, the people will always talk about our work environment, that consistent training will help employees work more effectively in the workplace environment. And this brings about an atmosphere in the organization that encourages every employee to feel valued and welcome. Improved and updated technology. Of course, when we purchase a new advanced technological the equipment, machinery, people would love to learn that, the advanced technology. So because with ever changing change in technology across the industry, exposure must be provided to all employees, and they would love to learn about the new techniques of the advanced technology, and this will of course help you to increase efficiency and productivity in the organization. So after 11 benefits, we will discuss about the 4 best practices for training and development. I hope you understood the 11 benefits. Say yes or no. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you are attentive.
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh, great. Thank you. So now we move towards 4 best practices for training and development. First practice you have to imbibe in our company is identify your audience and performance challenges before you begin. So before you start your training and development program, you have to identify your people, what level they are. Are they level 0, at level 0, 1, 2? Which are the department, which are the people, what type of training is required? Jot down the topic with the name of the person, his strength, his weakness, hello.
Training.
So this is need analysis, identify your audience and the performance challenges before you start your training and development program. Then create a plan for mobility, flexibility, and accessibility. What does it mean? Create a plan means, of course, we have also prepared our plan for this training is going to start from 11th Feb, from this time to this time, right? So prepare a plan. See to mobility. Now, suppose if we are training from unit 1, unit 2, head office, so see the mobility that all people are available on a particular date, on particular time. So see to the mobility, flexibility. If some people have to travel from HO to the factory, then see they are flexible. There are some travel arrangements made or not. The instrument, the projector, or the everything which is available for training program to attend, whether it is accessible, the IT people are there or not. So see to that everything is in place. Then leverage rich media, interactive activities, and an engaging script. So make your presentation or the media, whatever way you are going to train, should be very interactive, right? Is to keep your all people engaged. They should not feel sleepy. They should not feel bored, by listening to the trainer. Are you listening to me or you are feeling bored?
Listening to your training program.
Okay, so I'm keeping you engaged, right?
Yes, we are engaged.
Yeah, good. So make it interactive, okay? So this is the way, how you make it interactive. The script written should be very nicely written, very nicely to be, explained to all the trainers, not trainers, sorry, the trainees attending to the program. Then incorporate assessment to test your employees' knowledge and make adjustment. So suppose if there is a group of 100 people and coming from various department, then the trainer has to, assess whether and test whether the employees attending the training program have sufficient knowledge on the subject. If not, then how I can explain in a proper way so that I can quote some example which is understood by each and every employee working in different department. Now, why I quoted the McDonald's and Domino's Pizza? Because it is written by all people, whether he is working in manufacturing, production, HR, IT. So, like that, you have to assess your audience. So, how to make your program very effective and it is understood by each and every employee, that is up to the trainer's skill. And these are the four practices which you have to implement in the organization when you become a trainer. Train the trainer, what we say, no. So these are the four practices before you start your training and development program. So as everyone is aware of the concept of training, training job will never be finished as long as the organization remains in operation. So training is a continuous process right from the start, day one of your company operation till the end of your company. So when it is in operation, training will never die, right? So when the training will die, your company will also die. Believe me or not, but it is a fact. The purpose of training is to bring about improvement in the performance of workers. It includes the learning of such techniques as are required for the intelligent performance of the definite task. So this is the concept of training. Let us see the competencies. Can you read the competencies?
Defined by the needs of the workforce and all the essential knowledge, skills, and attitudes
Right.
required to achieve an acceptable level of performance.
Next
Achieved
slide.
through formal training in the classroom and through hands-on field work. Example, batch production experience and testing of batches. Each competency is supported by multiple training objectives.
Correct.
Yes.
So competency is defined by the needs of the workforce, right? And our essential knowledge, skills, and attitude. It is also called as ask. Ask means what? Attitude, skills, and knowledge. Here exactly ulta I have given, the KSA. But instead of KSA, just remember ask. Ask. Okay. Ask is what? Attitude, skills, and knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yeah. So the ask concept is very helpful when we talk about the training and learning, the training and development program in our company. So you can see competencies coming from, sometimes inputs from the employers, sometimes it from the old employees, which becomes the alumni, the faculty, staff, or new joinees, students, you know. So how it goes, you can see this pyramid, okay? So learning objective is a base, the base of pyramid, learning activities and the learning objective. So the learning activities should be more as compared to the learning objective. And when these are more, you become a competent. When you reach to this peak, when you have, tell me, when you have learning objectives and learning activities. Am I right? But to
Right.
meet the learning objective, there should be more of learning activities.
Activity.
Correct? So have you understood this
Correct.
pyramid? How it has to be understood? You can see the base, the learning activities is more fitted, right? When you go to the baseline, the activity should be more. Am I right? The learning objectives,
Right.
the middle. But after spending so many, more than half of this triangle pyramid, you reach up to the competent level. How much? You can see this triangle, small triangle. So that's how it goes when we define the competencies. So competency, to say that a person is competent, it's not, very easy. I mean to say, when we tell the person is a SME, subject matter expertise, when he has thorough knowledge about that subject, when he has spent 10, 15 years in the same field, then only he become a competent. Am I right? So that is how the competency is not easiest task to achieve. And once it is achieved, it will remain forever. So when we start the swimming, I will give simple example of swimming, right? So everyone must have tried the swimming or the cycling, at their younger age. So how many days does it take to have to become a good swimmer? Any guess?
No idea, ma'am.
Huh?
No idea, ma'am.
So maybe 6 months, 1 year, good swimmer, I'm telling about. Swimming you can learn within a month, to move your hands and legs, and you can swim in the small swimming pool. But to become a good swimmer, it takes years and years. Am I right? When
Right.
you can swim in the river or the ocean, when you become a good swimmer, after spending so many years, it's not easy.
Yes,
You can
together.
swim in a swimming pool within 6 months. But when it comes to your river and the ocean swimming, how many years does it take? It depends on your practice. Am I right? Your learning
Right. It
activities,
depends
how
upon the
much time
practice.
you spend. Correct? So for all activities
Yes.
in that per se, how you become a cricketer, how you become a competent person in your field, that depends on your skills, your learning objectives, your learning activities. Correct? So the
And practice. And practice.
yeah,
Also.
and the practice. Practice is the prime, unless you practice, you cannot achieve your target. Practice, practice, practice. That is why GXP, I always say, GMP, GLP, GCP, practice, good manufacturing practice, good laboratory practice, good documentation practice. So practice, practice, practice. In industry, practice is very important. In our own life also, practice is very important. So competency, I hope you understood why training is crucial. The FDA, the Europe, and there are all health authorities who have described in their guidelines. So when we refer to 21 CFR Part 211.25, they have given this personal qualification. The organization and personal. When we refer to European Medicinal Agency, the EMA, and in the directives also they have given the training has become very important part. Even in ISO standard they have given the training. Okay, So each person in GMP, the good manufacturing practice, that also requires each person, quality, manufacturing, engineering, warehouse, housekeeping, contractor, etc., to be trained on this GMP aspect. What is the area of work plus GMP? Experts in area of operation. CGMP is current GMP, yeah? Current good manufacturing practices by a qualified individual. Continuing basis, sufficient frequency, then approved training program is duties plus theory and by quality, by production. So what I mean to say here that FDA, Europe, Canada, WHO, our GMP, everywhere training has, given under the laws, under the rules and regulations. So don't ignore training anywhere. Training is as I said, it's a vital part of any organization. Then the practical effectiveness check, observing on the job, written questionnaire, oral interviews, periodically assessment. When we talk about how do we perform the effectiveness of training, so in our training program also, if you recollect, after the training, we have uh, given the MCQ certain set of questionnaire. When we train myself and Sneha on risk assessment, the validation, then the ISO 13485, differences, similarities, and so on. On that particular topic, we have evaluated also, we have jotted down 10 the multi-choice questionnaire, MCQ, and we had given the answer and you had been asked for the selection of correct answer. So that is one way of evaluating the written questionnaire, written MCQ. But there are, like in certain cases, like if your employees are not educated, highly educated, they are laymen, they are just fifth standard or 10th standard pass. So you can ask oral question, oral interviews, observe their job and periodically assess them. That is the way how you evaluate, how you showcase the effectiveness of your training. Okay? Then there are specialized training also. Like suppose if you have sterile facility or OOS, out of specification, or any potent substance, very important and very small quantity of like hormones and all such kind of medical drug is to be used, then in that cases the specialized training program has to be given. Like if you might have heard Baba Atomic Research Center, where the all isotopes and all studied, those carries, cancer, the radiation and all which is cancerous. So in that cases, people have to be trained, specially on that aspect, and there is a typical set of people will be trained and employed in that particular area. In case of hormonal product also, some people are trained for, and the hormones are of two types, male hormone and the female hormone. So when we manufacture the male hormone, their males are not hired, the females are hired. When you manufacture the female hormone like progesterone, their males are hired during the manufacturing, but females are not. Why? Because hormones are used for what? To protect the childbirth. Am I right? So that's how
Okay.
we have to take care of specialized training. Now, fortunately, in our case, we don't have any specialized sterilization or anything. So we need not to worry about specialized training. But even though in future, if you try to, add some more products in our factory and see that whether that person is required specialized training or not, and you keep 2 to 3 people trained, and you can carry out your job. Then before any new task, quality assurance to be discussed in training needs, right? And the records to be maintained. Then apart from these, there are 5 principles of training. One is participation, that is involve trainees, learn by doing. If there is no involvement, then there is no, what you say, the effectiveness seen out of your training. You will train, you will talk, you will, spend your energy, But if there is no involvement from the participant, like today I have seen all you are enthusiastically listening to me and you are very attentive. So that is called participation. Like involve trainees, learn by doing. Repetition, repeat ideas and concept to help people learn. Relevance, learn better when material is meaningful, right? Transference means to real world using simulation. Am I right? Transference means you give the real world stories to you, talk about the real life examples. That is called, simulate. The simulation of your program, you directly, relate to your real life. And that is what is transference. Feedback, adjust training method to the audience. Am I right? So if the audience is of different, this I have already told you. If there are 100 employees coming from different background, select the examples in such a way that will suit to all the people attending our training program. So these are the 5 principles you have to keep in mind when you train your employees. Then coming back to again the ask concept. Ask is attitude, skills and knowledge. Okay. So training is simply one of the means to fill the gaps of performance between the actual results and the expected results. So this gap can be separated into 3 main themes. That is attitude, skills and knowledge. Everybody is with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Yeah, ask concept is what? Attitude, skills, and knowledge. So by way of this training, I am going to judge now, all these 3 parameters. Attitude, I have seen attitude of each employee, right? So attitude is what? Tell me. What is attitude? Do you think everywhere attitude will be helpful?
Attitude is a person reaction to a act or reaction to a something.
Correct. So suppose if somebody is asking and if you are showing attitude, you are not answering, you are ignoring, what will happen? That shows that you have high attitude. You are egoistic person. Am I right? Am I right? Sometimes
So,
it is
the other person, yes,
misunderstood.
the person can assume.
Yeah, sometimes it is misunderstood. Sometimes the person is not understood what you are talking. Am I right? So that is why he has kept quiet.
Right.
So in that case, how you say that he has attitude or not attitude? That means he is not understood. So ensure that the people listening to you, the people training to you, to whom you are training, have understood the concept. Okay, have understood the
Yes.
topic in depth, and then only you judge whether that person has attitude or not. So this ask concept is very helpful, in the organization. Please try to understand in detail. Skills. Skills refer to the ability of using information and applying it in a context. Practical application of knowledge. Practical exposure and can also be inborn. Am I right? Some people must have inborn qualities, inborn skills. Like Lata Mangeshkar, she's singing beautifully. Am I right? Some people are actors right from the birth. The acting is inbuilt. Some people have very good handwriting. Some people have very good drawing. They have their artistic mind. So, of course, with the practical exposure, also people can have that skills, imbibe those skills. Even if suppose if I'm not a good dancer, but with practice I can become a dancer if I have that if I get that exposure, practical exposure. Am I right? So
So we are
skills are,
expecting your dance very soon, madam.
yeah. Oh God. So after getting certification, you are going to call me to celebrate the party and I
Yes,
will
ma'am.
dance.
In the party you will dance, so we are enjoying your dance.
And who will dance with me? I don't dance alone. So
Oh,
you have to
so
dance with
bad.
me. Yes.
Then it is very difficult for us.
So I will make
Otherwise,
all you dance. I will make
otherwise,
you all dance. Okay. That is my duty.
We are all together dance.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Yuvraj
So-
sir wants to dance, no restriction.
So skill is required to master a field of study. So whatever field you have selected, of course, to become a master, you have to have practice and you should have practical exposure to get those skills. Then third most important is knowledge. So knowledge refers to theoretical information acquired about any subject. Knowledge can be learned. Knowledge is also required to master a field of study. Am I right? So
Right.
knowledge can be, we can gather from any source, from literature, from YouTube, from internet, from our friends, from our mother, with the parents, from any source, whatever information you get, you try to acquire the knowledge about subject. Now, in particular subject, like how do I manufacture medical device? How do I register my product to US FDA? So for that particular knowledge, you have to acquire, you have to learn the laws, rules, regulation, then only you can have that knowledge. So for that, you have to refer, right? You have to refer to guidelines, you have to refer to laws, you have to refer to that website of fda.gov.com. So like that, you have to put your efforts to acquire some knowledge. So knowledge can be learned or it can be acquired through different sources. So of course, when you say the person is very knowledgeable, when he is master in his subject, when he is master in field. Am I right? So now people come to us for the 510K, for the USFDA, because we have done so many applications that people say that we are master in USFDA. Like that, you have to become a master in any field. Like we say, global regulatory affair consultant, GMP consultant, lead auditor. This words are itself is self-explained. When you say that we are lead auditor, when you face so many audits successfully, then only you become a lead auditor. Am I right? With 10, 20 audit, you cannot become a lead auditor. So how the knowledge is used, how you acquired, how you become master in particular field, that is up to you. So I hope this is understood, the ask concept, the attitude, the skills and the knowledge. Yeah. So difficulty to develop in people. Now this is very difficult to, how it is difficult? The attitude, the most difficult. Am I right? The skills, moderately difficult. Knowledge is easy to get. Am I right? So this is the level of difficulty which I have described in this slide. Difficulty to develop in people. What? Knowledge, skills, and attitude. Either use pronounce as KSA or ask ASK. Okay. So have you understood the meaning of this slide? Difficulty to develop in people. So high ego people to bring them down to earth, it's most difficult task. Most difficult task, I'm telling you. Okay. So
Okay.
when people have high attitude, that means he's not easily changeable, he's not ready to accept your ideas, he's not ready to accept whatever you are saying, right? So that is called this person has very high attitude. So how you bring their attitude to down to earth, that is the most difficult task for a trainer, for an auditor, for an owner of company, for being a boss at your CEO level, CEO level, then those employees who have high attitude, for CEO, COO, everyone, it's become very difficult to handle such kind of people. Okay. So then when the people have skills, but suppose low attitude and low knowledge, still moderately difficult. And when the people have knowledge, okay, and the skills, then what happened? Tell me. It becomes easy to handle. So this is the difficulty in handling people, difficulty to develop in people. These are the three skills which I have jotted down: easy, moderately difficult, and the most difficult. You can change as per your own experience. Huh? This arrow, you can change as per your experience.
But
So training,
always attitude is most difficult.
yeah. So that is what is
Attitude
my
is always most difficult.
exactly. So that's how I have also defined like this. Then training is only beneficial if it is based on an analysis of needs or requirements and designed in a way that ensures those requirements are met. Am I right? Training is only beneficial if it is based on an analysis of need or requirement. You cannot give training on any topic or it is when it is not required, right? But at least you have knowledge about what kind of training is required by my employees. When he is a gatekeeper, he is a security guard, what kind of training he should have? At least the entry exit system, the attendance record during COVID, he has to be aware of the temperature to be checked, everything to be monitored, whether people entering into our premises is wearing mask, using hand sanitizer or not, whether he's wearing street shoes. So like that simple things he has to monitor, he has to be trained. Going beyond that, what else he has to be trained? The medical training, the medical checkup. The third most important, safety of your company, because he is a security guard. He is aware of where is the fire alarm, where is the safety tool is kept when the fire is on, and where the medical emergency toolkit is kept when the person is injured, when the accident happens. So like that, the need analysis, the requirement of training, you have to jot down when you make the training plan for your employees, right from the gate entry till he exit. Now you understood when the person enters to our premises, what kind of training is required, entry, exit, gowning, degowning, production. Now you understood the work environment. So all this comes in picture when he goes exit at the end of the day. So what all facilities, what all trainings required, what all work instructions are required, that you have to keep in mind. Okay, and to ensure that everything happens as per the ISO standards or the applicable regulatory requirements. So with this, only 2-3 slides are left. Shall I continue or do you need break?
I think you can continue. Sir, Kirti sir and Ramesh.
Sir, we are waiting for tea. It was not yet arrived. So please continue. Once it is arrived, we will let you know, madam, so that we will give a break.
Okay, great.
Right.
So as I said, the learning, the need analysis is very important. I have quoted one example of security guard. Like that, you have to now start evaluating which all departments are there in our company and who all are to be trained on what all subjects they have to be trained. Okay. The basic training, of course, had to be given to each and every employee, like induction training, the quality objective, quality policy, and their on-job training, the medical, the mock drill, and all the general training should be given to each and every employee. Then it will be the department wise and the skill-based training program. And if there are any specialized skills are required, the specialized training program has to be organized. Okay. So there should be a LNA. LNA is a learning need analysis. So for this, you have to establish context. How and why has that learning need been identified? What is the purpose and intent of the learning need? What is the current cost to this business? Okay. Then review cash means what? Review knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. Here H is added. Okay. Ask, when I used to say ask, so it is cash. Okay, so same, it is knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. So Cash is required for role identify gaps in current program. Then assess the capabilities. Assess current capabilities of staff against the knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. Then understand resources. So develop a greater understanding of the participants, the environment, and available resources to inform decision regarding learning solution. And then you are free to design the solution, right? So design the end-to-end learning journey that meets the learning needs. So right from establishing the context, review cache, assess capabilities, understand resources, you are in a position to design the solution. Means you are ready to design program, the learning atmosphere, the training program by meeting all these requirements. That is end-to-end training, right? As per the need analysis. So this is very important slide, creating a sustainable quality culture. So how we deal with quality issues will make or break us. Am I right? So how you define your robust quality management system, robust quality culture, that will define your organization whether to make it happen or break it. Okay. So this is very important slide, and I hope it is understood, right? So how you create your sustainable quality culture? It's not that we have to give manufacturer product for 1 year, 2 year down the line when there is a COVID. But you should see that how you can be sustainable years and years and years. Correct? So this is very pretty simple, and my favorite slide written by Azim Premji, who is a very great personality in India, and I, he is also one of the role model for me. My role models are Kiran Bedi and our Abdul Kalam Azad, and this Azim Premji. So these are three personalities who are role model to us, for me at least. So why training is crucial for ethical capacity building? The real threat to business is from within, right? From poor ethical standards and lack of integrity that can do incalculable harm. History has proven repeatedly that business ethics, shared value, and corporate governance determine the longevity of an enterprise. Am I right? So many of the company you must have seen, they are non-ethical, they are not following any integrity, the data integrity, lots of manipulations are done, the lack of integrity, I would say. So history has proven that they don't have sustainable culture, they don't have long-term life. And this is what, the training is crucial for any company for long sustainability. Like anything else in business, what is required is capacity building towards deeper ethical behavior. The capacity building begins not only at the top, but at the bottom also. Employees must know, feel, and be reassured about the fact that they work in an environment that is safe in every sense of the word. This is very, very important, though it is said by Azim Premji. This sentence, each sentence is very important. Please keep in mind. They need to know that compliance is not a tick box activity. Correct? Compliance, not a tick box activity that checklist has given and you have to just tick, 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 that everything is compliant. It's not that. You have to be very honest. You have to check it thoroughly. Suppose if we say temperature and humidity, our limit is same. But ensure that actual temperature and humidity is there and you record it. Your record is very important. Okay, so they need to witness their organizations translating compliance and infusing ethical practices into everyday action. Like suppose if the top process only tells that you just tick mark, we will see in the audit. You just tick mark, you make the paper, you make the record. We are there to take care of company. No, this is high attitude, wrong attitude, I would say. So ensure that your people have to be trained properly about your compliance system, about your ethics, your values, your integrity of your company. That is only help in capacity building. Yeah, in long run, I'm saying. They need to be empowered to thwart unethical action in their work environment. They need to appreciate the fact that business integrity standards are maintained and are directly related to the future success of the company. They must realize that maintaining those standards insulates them, their families, and their company from the legal and social action. It securitizes their livelihood. Suppose how we say how you are coming from which culture, like whose daughter you are, who is your father and mother, where you trained, where you learned all these things. How we ask to people, the culture, his parents, his background. Same way organization goes on. You know, if our employees leaves one company, goes to other company, they will tell the same story. Okay, like our child, one child birth takes 9 months. That is what, when the employee joins our company, it takes minimum 9 months to 1 year to learn whole compliance system. So please have patience, be train them, be respectful, and create an environment where you can help to capacity building of the organization. Okay, so now I will stop here because all the examples which are gathered for you guys about the GMP 21 CFR part to 11.25, the personal qualification, what this CFR says about. So in our medical device industry, we need not to worry about this, because whatever have been told, whatever have been our system is developed, the SOP is prepared, the documents or records are ready. That is good enough to take care of. This is additional information about 21 CFR part 211. Okay, I'm going to share this presentation with you all. You can read at your own convenient date and time. But remember that training is vital, training is crucial. So don't ignore, because of training deficiency, there are lots of warning letter have been received in the pharma and the medical device industry. Okay. So training operation, written procedure, training frequency, education, experience, overall. You can see 38 citation, 44 citation. How many citations are there in under FDA because of training? You can see how it was. This is called non-conformity, but in this pharma world, we call it as deficiency in the system. Okay, you can see the responsibility and procedure applicable to quality control unit are not in writing fully followed. Failure to thoroughly review unexplained discrepancies. So all these discrepancies you can see regarding training, cleaning, sanitizing, maintenance, see, calibration, inspection, checking, written procedure are not established, followed for cleaning and maintenance of equipment. You can see there are so many citations, 77, 56, 71, 59. So many, these are old. The number have now, some numbers are increased, some numbers are decreased. So attitude, skill, knowledge, important input for training. You can see this is warning letter to one of the contract manufacturers who was, an operator performing critical aseptic operations with exposed skin at the forehead, posing an unreasonable risk of the product becoming contaminated. Just see, aseptic means sterile area in which a person was not wearing the gowning system, like, and his forehead was exposed. The forehead skin was exposed, which may have contamination. So how the person is, the discrepancy happened. The warning letter has received to one of the contract manufacturer. If you go to FDA site, you will find all these discrepancies mentioned there. Then operator moving very quickly in the aseptic area, which may create unacceptable turbulence in the area and disrupt the unidirectional airflow. So just see, walking in that aseptic area is also to be trained. If a person walk fast, so the air handling unit, the aseptic area is very highly, protective of, classes. The class ABCD is defined. The class one area which has, no microbial, like the classes are defined 1,000, 1,000, 10,000 and 1 lakh. So in that area, suppose the operator is moving quickly, then the airflow is also disrupting. So look at the observation given by the inspector. So this is a warning letter for one of the contract manufacturer who is working in aseptic area. So with this, you can come to know like how this GMP, GLP and all matters a lot. The good manufacturing practice and the good laboratory practices. And of course, over and above the good documentation, how you prepare. Correct? So operators leaning halfway in and out of the class 100 area. So this was the class 100 area where the aseptic filling or the operation was going on. So class 100 while performing interventions over open bottles. So these are the 3 observations given by the inspector, and this was the warning letter given to the manufacturer. So there are like so many, others. I will give this to read you, and then you will understand, how these warning letters are very critical. Mid size, big size, 483 is again analytical balance clocks are set back. See, established laboratory controls are not followed and data is not recorded at the time of performance. This is the observation. So the person has adjusted the analytical balance during weighing. It was set back. See, in order to create falsified weight printouts that appears to be printed at the time of sample weighing. So drug product test method validation data is falsified. So with this weighing sample on this analytical weighing balance, the data was, the sample was analyzed and validated. So that data was, become falsified. So it's a big issue. And that's the reason people have to be trained on each and every equipment, instrument, calibration, and all compliance activities. Okay. So there are, so many examples quoted on FDA website. You can browse through it. And thank you for your patient hearing. Now, if you have any question, we will discuss. Thank you very much. I hope you understood. Hello.
Yes, madam, we understand.
Or everybody is having tea without me.
No, we are not having tea.
Kirti sir will not have. He is very attentive.
We are sending. We are trying to send tea through Zoom itself, madam.
Good, good. So how was the training?
That's good.
Understood?
Good, good. Understood.
So do you have any question, Dina? And who else is there? I cannot see. You can switch on camera for some time if you want.
The entire team is there.
You can see my face.
No.
No, ma'am.
I don't know what happened today to my camera. Actually, I have switched on. The last camera. I don't know. Setting, something is wrong in my setting, I think.
Dina, you are looking like a surgeon.
Who?
Dina,
Yes, sir.
Dina is looking like a surgeon. Only the gown is not. He did not wear the gown. If he wear the gown, definitely he will look
Dinner
like.
ready, sir.
எடுத்து போட்டீங்கன்னா வேலை முடிஞ்சது.
I don't know what is happened, but something. Sneha, you know how to. Ramesh is IT expert. My camera is on, but I don't know how. Even I cannot see
Ma'am,
my
I think
face.
it is hidden. It is hidden.
I
Just
think
you check where in the
Where
top of
to
the
check?
camera. There is
sometimes I
one.
noticed, ma'am, internet is not stable.
Oh, is it because of that?
Yeah.
So, but you were able to hear me now, full presentation.
Yes,
Yes,
I
yes.
can able to hear you.
Okay, okay.
Some 1 or 2 times your voice was shaking. Otherwise, it's okay. It's nice.
It was okay, na?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm unclicking this stop video also. It's not coming my photo, but I could see you all. Dina is there. The conference room camera. Can you switch on?
Yes.
Good to
everybody here,
see
ma'am.
all. Good to see all. So, how many people have been trained today?
Yeah,
All the way.
nine here.
9.
Raise your hands. Raise your hands.
Not 9.
So,
More than that.
so Monisha, then who is Deepak?
Deepak,
I could see,
Monisha,
and what is his name?
Subramani.
Sivaras.
Vignesh. Have you understood?
Vignesh is here, ma'am.
So have you understood, Vignesh?
Vignesh.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Dina, have you understood the concept of
Hey,
training?
conference ஆளுங்கெல்லாம் எதுக்குடா cap போட்டுன்னுக்குறீங்க?
So, see, by this training, you are becoming now trainer. Okay, train the trainer. Now you have to train others.
Dina, remove your mask. Remove your
Okay.
mask. We want to see your real face.
Why? What happened?
Okay, no, I think nothing.
He cut
is
his
sitting
mustache.
with so many people, so he can.
Okay. I thought he's looking different than when I saw him last.
No.
But he is Dina, I confirm.
So any question regarding training? So we will break for 5 minutes, and when I will go through competency matrix, the how to maintain our training records. Okay. So
Okay.
so you take 5 minutes break. I will also have my tea, and then we will connect again at around 4:45. Is it fine?
Yes. Fine.
4:45.
Yes.
Kirti sir, 4:45 is okay.
4:45 is fine.
What?
Dina, எத்தனை மணிக்கு?
Sir. Okay, sir. 4:45 government.
Okay.